Hi everyone, thank you all for stopping by. My name is Wanda and this is my happy place. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can bake in your van without having an oven. And it's just some simple things that you would need, probably things that you already have on hand, such as a stove. I'm going to use this little small butane stove today. And then you're going to need a pot. So I have just this little round roaster pot. And I have the inside of it lined with foil, and that's to help radiate the heat on the inside. I also have in the bottom of this pot a pot holder. So it has holes, so it's good for venting, and it will sit about a half an inch off the bottom of the pot, and that'll prevent, well, I'm going to be making peanut butter cookies today, so it'll prevent them from burning on the bottom. And this you can get at the dollar store for like $2. There's other things that you can use. You can use a little wire round rack or square rack if you're using a square pan, like a cookie rack, as long as it's steel, it's not plastic coated. Even this here would work. This is a little mini dog bowl that I paid $1 for. You could sit this in here and then put a little plate or whatever you're baking on the top of this. It can go that way or that way. I have this other thing here. I think this came from a wok, and I used that in my bigger pot, my iron pot, because it fits bigger. But just, use your imagination when you're out looking, if you're looking to find something, because this was my biggest thing, to find something that fit in the bottom of the pot. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is start up, of course, the stove to warm it up. So I'm going to get this warmed up. And I'm going to warm this up for just a couple of minutes. Having the foil on here also helps, because when you put the lid on, it seals it much better so that the heat does not escape. Now, I've got this on a medium heat right now, just while I'm warming it up. And once it warms up there for a couple of minutes, I'm going to go ahead and turn that down. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting on that, and I'm not even going to use a pan to, like a tray to put the cookies on. I'm just going to put them directly on to some wax paper or parchment paper. And from there, I'm just going to drop them right in, and I'm going to leave enough room so that when I lift them out, I can just lift over to the paper to lift them back out. So I've already made these in advance, and they're just 3-ingredient peanut butter cookies. I'm going to leave the recipe in the description if you want to try them. They're just a really simple recipe. It's like a cup of sugar, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, and 1 egg. That's it. So I'm just gonna try like maybe 4. I don't know how many. I haven't done this before, so I'm not sure. In this pot, I've used the big pot, but I haven't tried the smaller one before. I'm not sure how much will fit in there. So I'm gonna like just push these down and get them ready. And I would normally use water, because water would prevent this from sticking. So I'm going to say that that is probably about warmed up by now. And I'm just going to try 4 cookies in there and see how that works. So the lid is not hot, so I can still lift it up. Oopsie, I almost spilt them. Then I'm just going to drop these in right here, and I'm going to leave that paper like that, which is probably going to smoke a bit, because usually parchment paper, if you got any extra, it will smoke a bit. So this recipe, they would normally take about 8 minutes or so, and so I'm going to check them at about 5, because I do not have a temperature gauge on the outside of this pot, and I'm not even sure that it would be reliable, because it would be getting the heat that's coming up from around the fire. So I'm going to give it maybe about 7 minutes, and then I'm going to check and see how they are. So I'll be right back in about 7 minutes. The cookies have been in there now for 12 minutes. I checked on them after about 6 and they were still very soft. So now I'm checking again. So it's about 12 minutes right now and they definitely look like they are almost done. I'm going to give them just another minute. Well, it's time to test the cookies and see how well they've done. They have been in there now for about 14 minutes. So it's time to turn off the stove and see how they look. And they look like they're well done. So remember, I kept the parchment paper a little bigger than it should have been, and this is just so I can kind of like hang on to it to lift the cookies back out. That would be the easier way because this is cold to touch. And here we go. And look, they turned out perfect. They look very well done, and it probably took, you know, maybe 4 minutes longer than if I were cooking them in my own oven. I know peanut butter cookies, they do vary depending on the ingredients. But I think average it's about 10 minutes, and these were in there for 14. But look how good they look. They look perfect. So now you know that you can find a way to do a little baking in your van, or even if you want to sit up outside and use the same kind of setup. If you can get an iron pot will definitely work better than this type of one, because the middle is not very thick, which is why I end up lining this one with the foil just to help reflect the heat around. And yeah, it seems to have worked really good. So I am very happy. I'm very happy. Sorry, I'm still eating. I have to say that these cookies turned out really well. Thank you very much for stopping by, and I'm glad that you stuck around. Don't forget, if you like my video, to subscribe, comment, like, share. Also, there's only one thing that I would have done differently when I do it again, is that I would raise the grate up a little bit higher, because they did go a little too brown on the bottom. But as you know, with peanut butter cookies, they can go from 0 to 60 in a few seconds. So, and it's kind of hard to monitor them because you don't want to be lifting the lid off and on. And that's, you know, causing, you know, the heat to escape, and then they're not going to bake properly. I think I took it off twice before I actually took out the cookies. So, yeah, I would raise up the lid, the grate, by about maybe another inch. And to do this in here, all I would do is just ball up some tin foil in little balls and put around the edges just to keep it up a little bit higher. So that's just a simple fix. But I'm going to leave the recipe in the description if you want to try it yourself and see how it works for you. Let me know if you do try it and how it works out. And until next time, I hope y'all have a great week. Bye.